Yo, can I get in on this? I want another one, two. One, two. Oh, you thought it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style. Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, you know they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gon' investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, you know they showing out. You're smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, you know she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his favor, his mercy, his power.
So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man, ain't no S on your chest. You know where help comes from when you're up or you're down. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
Yeah. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around. Keep the real ones around. INA runs deep, keep the real ones around. Keep the real ones around. The real ones around. INA runs deep, keep the real ones around.
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing? This is your boy Jedediah, and I am this your boy Jedediah. Give me a second, y'all, because I'm trying to fix something. Let me see. What's up, y'all? What's up? Can y'all hear me right now? If you can hear me, put a 2 right here because I'm trying to do something different. And we're gonna see right now. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if y'all can hear me before I do this. Okay, got all 2s over there. Good. Okay, so I'm looking here at this camera. This is gonna be crazy. Let me try this. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I go out. If I do, I'll be right back. Yo. What's up? How y'all doing? This is your boy Janet. Wait. It's working. It worked. Okay. I got a new way to do this. And it's way better. Okay. So, all right. I got a new way to do this. All right. So now the question becomes, if you can hear me still, put a 3 in this chat. And then if you can hear me over there, then you can put a 3 in the chat as well. Let me see, is it working? If it's working, then got the threes. Okay. All right. Y'all, I'm happy because I just solved a problem that I've been having, but I think I might have gotten it fixed. So we're gonna see. Okay, yep, threes. I see the threes over here on YouTube. You all, we are joining new streaming platforms, so I have to put this thing in a certain kind of way. Give me 1 second, y'all. Please bear with me. Today is a call-in broadcast, so that means that I'm gonna real quick write down what you did. Happy birthday, Detective Rachel. I didn't even know. Okay. That ain't good. Okay, wait. Okay, got it. Bet. That's all I wanted to see. I got it now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Investigate and Advocate. I am your host, Jedediah Brown. This is the place where injustice finds no rest. Before I get into today's broadcast, I simply want to talk to you guys about what is going on. So yesterday in prayer, I felt the Lord leading me to go and stand by this young lady who was dealing with an unfortunate reality in Harvey, Illinois. And then this morning, I was not able to get on the plane. Didn't get a plane last night, couldn't get a plane this morning. However, we were blessed with $300 from people who are supporters of this broadcast that we have. And we're going to be doing some things for this, but I feel like it just puts me in a place where I'm trusting God totally, and I call for a week-long action in this endeavor. But it is literally going to just be postponed. It is not canceled. However, in just a little while, or while I'm on here, there are other community advocating voices who are going to the site, and they're going to be making contact with the young lady, some other community advocating voices, as well as some people who are on my team. They're going to be there. So it is still happening. I'm just not there right now. And so they're going to be talking to me in a little bit, giving me a briefing, and then we're going to move forward. With that being said, this is literally my real call. Is not just in the typical sense. If you're somebody who believes in the work of investigate and advocate, I need for you to send a contribution, and one of those things listed below. Is very important that we have resources to do the work we do. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But today, I want you guys who got something to say to call in and talk to me at 319-527-2093. I was fortunate also this morning to be in a couple meetings. As you all are knowing, possibly if you've been paying attention, it looks like the United States National Guard is about to be deployed in the city of Chicago. Yep, it looked like it's gonna happen. And so we're hearing that within the next 48 hours, the National Guard may be deployed on the streets of the city. Jed, you downplayed the DC thing. Nope, sure didn't. That National Guard is going to be deployed into the city of Chicago. And really it's so many things that I want to say about this, but I'm thinking that the reason why it's hard for me to get people to feel comfortable in the call-in show is because my voice is so strong, and people just end up just listening, or they don't want to talk and be drowned out. So today, I'm going to do something different. Let's go to the phone lines. Wait a minute now, because I know for a fact. Okay, so we're finna go to the phone lines. 319-527 2093. I, everybody is talking for the residents of the city of Chicago. So today, after the meetings that I was in, I said, you know what? I'm going to let this be a day to just hear from people who are in the city of Chicago or in the country who may have a perspective. If it's pro, against, give a perspective, give education. And then I'm going to just kind of sort of talk some of my talking points while I'm doing that. So the phone lines just opened up.
You are the only participant in the conference.
And I'm the only participant so far. Isn't that crazy? So look, you guys can call in at 319-527-2093. The National Guard being deployed in the city of Chicago. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? What is your perspective? Are you prepared? Looks like the president is going back and forth with the governor and the mayor. You see certain residents that are vocal, like myself and others, that are speaking up against or for. But today, I just wanted to find out if there's going to be any residents of this country who want to say something and understand this. My broadcasts are heard. And if my broadcasts aren't heard, I'm heard. So you'll be given a perspective and you'll be in the number when the people are talking about what the people want. And so that's the point in the goal right now. And I have two different things going on at one time. So believing that both sides can hear me and see me, call in 319-527-2093. I find certain aspects of this very interesting. One of the things that I found to be extremely interesting is the governor of Illinois said, speak. She says, speak loud. He says, rise up, speak loud. What is it that the governor and the mayor of Chicago and Illinois asking for the residents to do when the National Guard is deployed? I have not gotten any clarity as it relates to a plan. I also heard the governor say, know your rights. But for those who don't, where are the resources for people to know their rights as it relates to what you could do when the federal government is involved? And even though these rights are federal for the most part, um, yeah, I just, what are the police gonna do? Is the police going to like what are I don't know. What is it? What is it? What is the Chicago police going to do when the National Guard is interacting with citizens? I did see that they said that they will not support, but what if a National Guardsman, just hypothetically, allegedly, is? But that makes no sense because if a National Guard who doesn't have police power interacts with a citizen that's quote unquote breaking the law and they cannot arrest them, what the hell? Yeah, my mind is a little confused itself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shocked. Nobody's called in right now. It's 128 people over here. I don't know how many people over here because I haven't learned how to use this yet. But you mean to tell me? Okay, yeah, I know. I'm aware. I'm aware. I got to figure that out. Yeah, I got to figure that one out. Come on, y'all. Now that's crazy. Call in and let me hear your voice. 319-527-2093. I'm always talking. I'm always on the media. People are always talking for you. You can talk your talk right now. Call in. I can't believe this. And it's still going up over here. 134 people. Let me see how many people looking at this on Facebook. What y'all scared? It's 53 people over there. So y'all ain't got, everybody want to type. Let me read some of this stuff. Because y'all finna make me turn up. I can't believe nobody is calling in to give perspective on this. So y'all just want to be spoken for, not spoken to. Got it. Look at my lucky day. Somebody finally heard. Who is this? Same person from yesterday. Now, if I ain't nobody else gonna call in, you gonna call in. Welcome back.
I'm old faithful. I'm not gonna let you sit there by yourself. I'm not afraid to speak up.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I'm for their presence. I think so long as they don't get in the way and they're just focused on, the immigration. But I think just their presence is going to slow down a lot of crime. That's what I think. Just their presence is going to slow things down. And we need things slowed down. I mean, that's just my feeling on it.
Are you a resident of Chicago?
I know. I told you that yesterday. Well, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Now I live in the Chicago suburbs. I'm like 20 minutes from downtown.
Okay. And you want the National Guard?
I'm not saying I want them. I'm saying I'm for it. I mean, I if he hadn't proposed it at all, this wouldn't be a conversation. But since I'm talking about Trump. But since he did, I don't see a problem with it. Unless, like if the police are doing their job, and if the Guard are doing their job, and I just think with the Guard it'll be the presence. Now, am I for them going in and ripping away families away from their loved ones? No, I'm not for that. However, there is a fight for people being here, that had to go through the process legally to be here. My father is a descendant from Italy, and it took a lot for him to get his papers and to be able to come to America, and I respect that too. So I can see both sides.
Okay, so let me ask you this one quick question. Do you think that this is about safety or about something else?
In my mind, I think it's more about safety. I'd like to see them here, in my mind, more about safety, in my mind. Okay. That's why I'm not that I'd like to see them here, that I'm not opposed to seeing them here.
Okay, well, hold on one second. Don't hang up. We now got 32 callers. They all kicked in at the same time. Hold on one second. 2841. You want the National Guard in the city of Chicago or not? And do you live there?
I do live in Chicago. And my question is just where would they be positioned? Because the National Guard only guards national things, things that are owned by the government. And on the south, and on the south and the north side, on the south and the west side, where are the national government things?
Okay, so but are you for them coming or are you against it?
It really doesn't matter because I don't think it's going to do any good. So I guess I'm not for it, but they can use the help. The police can.
The police can use the help. Okay, the mayor said by executive order, no one wear a face mask, but also the Chicago police will not be supporting the National Guard. Caller, stand by for 1 second. I want to ask you, 5011, are you for or against the National Guard in Chicago, and do you live there?
I absolutely am for it. Have you seen the murders over the weekend? Have you seen the 2 murders in Argyle Gardens of the 2 Black women alone? Are you watching what happened right around the corner from the police station headquarters in Chicago?
Absolutely.
Happened around the corner from the Chicago police headquarters, yet no one thinks the National Guard should come. Are you serious? Like, the National Guard came for the Democratic Convention just last year. No one was harmed when it came for that. The National Guard came for the George Floyd looting. The governor was highly concerned about the looting. However, he's not concerned about the shooting. Why is he more concerned about looting than he is of shooting of Black and brown people? That's not an emergency. And then we have the cliche going around of if they come to save this one Black life, no, they'll be saving a lot of Black lives if you look at the murder rate that's going on just in the city of Chicago. We're not even counting the suburban areas. So why are people against more safety, even Black and brown people? Why, concerningly, why are they against more safety in the Black communities? Do they want more safety or do they not want more safety? These are our tax dollars. Why not have more safety?
Well, caller, hold on for 1 second. Don't hang up. But 4391, do you think the National Guard should be deployed? Yes or no? And do you live in Chicago?
First of all, Brother Jed, you probably know who this is, but no, I don't live in Chicago. I have visited Chicago for people. It's a mixed feeling. I believe for safety purposes, the National Guard should come in.
Yes.
But being a service member years ago, I'm also a firm believer that they shouldn't weaponize the National Guard against the people. So it's like a double-edged sword here. There's way too many shootings in Chicago. There's way too many killings in Chicago. Back in the 80s, when I was a paramedic in Chicago, when I was in the Navy, we had too many shootings back then. The problem is the corruption needs to be taken care of within the Chicago Police Department and have solid police officers. Until you get that, a federal agency is going to have to step in.
Okay, caller. Thank you for your perspective. Hold on. Don't hang up. One more. 3677. Do you think the National Guard should be deployed in Chicago? And are you from the city?
Oh, hello. Hey, Jed. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm in Chicago. This is the card there.
Yeah, you do.
And I do live in Chicago. And I do agree with the last caller said about the corruption. I understand that. But I live in Chicago, and I see people getting killed and murdered all the time. And I just went by to visit somebody in Maple Park on Father's Day, and I'm sitting in the car, and they almost killed me.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to say, huh?
I said, oh, my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what happened. And it was a Father's Day event. I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm telling her, I got to go because it's getting dark. All of a sudden, here they come shooting down the street. And my granddaughter's in the car. We laying back. She laying back, and I tried to run away, fell down. All I said, oh, geez, they're going to kill me out here today. That's what I was thinking. I'm just telling y'all what happened. So anyway...
Well, wait, you said you are for.
They need to have the National Guard.
They need to have the National Guard. So with that being said, about 6 callers on here. Some of you all are for. Some of you are not for it. Let's break this down, and I'm going to try my best to moderate it. There is a law, the 1967 Palmas Comitatus Act, I believe that's what it's called, and it basically said that the president does not have the authority to bring or send the National Guard to local municipalities without the approval of Congress. So is this effort to make the community more law-abiding hypocritical when in fact he would be breaking the law himself, sending the National Guard without congressional approval?
When is that ever started?
And so that's for a specific amount of time, Jedediah, and also, the president is, in fact, the commander-in-chief of the entire military. That would include the National Guard. And so, if that applies, to the president, why wouldn't it apply to the governor? It's okay for the governor because he has that right for the local guard to call the local guard at his, will. It was not an emergency for the guard to be issued for the Democratic Convention. And it is absolutely a federal emergency, the amount of homicides that are going on in Chicago and the amount of homicides that are not, where people are not arrested. You don't think that's a federal emergency? Or would it only be a federal emergency if it were white people being, gunned down like that?
Is there a different perspective?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
It's my understanding that the National Guard cannot be police. They're not trained to be police. I think we're getting off track. The National Guard are here for presence and helping out with ICE. They will not be doing any criminal arrest or anything. I mean, am I right, Jedediah, or did I miss something? Because the National Guard, they're not here to arrest the crime, the killers and everything in Chicago. They just can't do it.
Well, let me, so that I could be correct in what I'm saying. The Posse Comitatus Act is used when federal law enforcement is a U.S. federal law that generally prohibits the use of the Army, the Air Force, or domestic law for domestic law enforcement purposes, with exceptions by authorization of the Constitution or Congress, enacted in 1878. The law aims to prevent interference in civilian affairs and protect civil liberties. While the act primarily applies to the Army and the Air Force, similar restrictions also apply to the Navy and the Marine Corps through other legislation. So, in fact, this will be incorrect because the National Guard is neither one of these.
Okay.
Wow. Did I just get that right?
Wow.
Hold on, y'all. Did I just get that right? Does anybody know? Huh?
It's been a lot of propaganda with the mayor. It's been a lot of propaganda with the governor. And at the end of the day, they have no authority to stop the National Guard being sent to Chicago. As we are seeing, they are preparing at this point in time. They, wanted to do the money grab and try to take it to court, and that would have been unsuccessful. And then we seen Mayor Brandon Johnson come out with his proclamation. That means absolutely nothing. They're highly concerned about the money they've been spending on the migrant crisis in Chicago. They're highly concerned about Chicago natives being seen out here homeless while migrants are being taken care of. And so they're nervous. They don't want this touchdown. But what have they done for the community? They have security detail. With all due respect, they're safe every time they leave their door. They have no worries whatsoever, and it's a higher crime to attack an elected official. So if you're thinking they're worried about you being gunned down, they're absolutely not, because what has been done?
Your phone keeps fading in and out.
What has been done to help?
Well, I say let them come and let's see what's going to happen.
They are a reserve component of the U.S. military serving. That's the Army. So they serve as the Army and the Air Force. And I didn't know this, so I had to look it up. So they serve as the Army and the Air Force, which they can be activated by a state governor to respond to domestic emergencies, national disasters, civil unrest, and it can also be called upon by the federal government for national defense missions. And so I hear that, and I definitely want to talk about all of that, but I'm trying to figure out if this is lawful first and if it's hypocritical. That's why I wanted to start the conversation.
I tell you what, at the end of the day, if it's unlawful, you got the general that's over the military that's willing to let these unlawful things go on. So why would the general or the military allow unlawful things to go on? So don't get caught up in the propaganda. Something needs to be done and something will be done.
But what is the propaganda though, Trina? What is the propaganda?
The propaganda is, the president can't send the National Guard, and if he sends them, we're going to send them back. You see, they're coming. Now you have the governor preparing the people for the National Guard to be here. So it's propaganda when you say, what you're going to do and what you're going to stop and what they can't do, and send this out into the community to be dispelled through the community of what the president cannot do. But yet you're preparing, as of today, for the National Guard to touch down and be here.
So is there anybody on this phone? Is there anybody on this phone who disagrees with Trina? Is this not just propaganda? Is these facts? Are they doing the best they can? Are they really fighting? Anybody?
I disagree with her because I do know they're coming. But I believe they're going to come just like they did in LA, because they have national things that need to be guarded. But as far as what Trina thinks they're going to do, I don't think they're going to be able to. They're going to go for the migrants, and if anything flares up from that, then it may be another story.
Because the migrants are essentially, is that okay? Okay, interesting. Okay, so
well, just one moment. Can you explain that when they had the National Guard put out through DC, how there were no homicides when they touched down, and so you don't think it will be an impact in Chicago? Do you think Chicago's just too wild?
Well, you got to know that DC is not a state. That's why he was able to do so much more in DC. Chicago and LA are different stories. There's only so much the National Guard can do with a state. That's what I gather from it. DC is something totally different. We can't compare them to Chicago.
So you said in your introduction, hold on one second, y'all. I got a question. You said in your introduction that you served in the armed forces 4391. Is this lawful? First, I want to know, is this lawful? As a serviceman, should we fear that the National Guard would be weaponized and possibly hurt its own citizens?
First of all, no, I don't believe it's legal. It takes an act of Congress to use the military for things properly. But I told you, my concern is they're going to be weaponized against the people. I don't think, what's their powers? What's their authority going to be? If they're here for law enforcement purposes, I'm 100% against that. I think you're going to see more brutality, possibly homicide. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. I don't have no problem with them if they're coming into town to protect federal buildings, federal government entities. I think that would be acceptable if they're worried about, any of those getting destroyed or whatever. But it's not about rioting. It's about the number of people getting killed. And again, there's enough other federal agencies, Homeland Security, the FBI, the ATF. There's enough other groups that can all be, in my opinion, could all be brought in as law enforcement agencies and to bring in resources to solve, some of these murder crimes. How many of these are the same people or same group of people killing these people?
So we can have an army on the street with army weapons, but everyone's in fear of the protection of the National Guard. And do you honestly think they're just going to be sitting in communities while it's gunfire ringing around their heads and it's not going to be a response? It has to stop. We're living in a war zone. They call it Chirac, okay, for a reason. Why do they call it Chirac if it's not a war zone?
So hold on to call us, because the mayor of Washington, D.C., obviously it's not a state, but there's a mayor. The mayor says we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in the city. It is a change of course for the mayor of D.C. for her to now praise these actions, saying that there's actually now an 87% drop in carjackings and a 45% decrease in violent crime. She say it's working. So why not be able to work in Chicago if it's working in DC?
Well, I say let's see what happened, because it didn't really change anything in LA, and they're still there.
I think it goes down to the rules of engagement too. You may see them walking around and you may see them with, ARs or M1s or whatever. but it's going to be whatever the rule of engagement is. Just because they see somebody shoot somebody, they're not going to have the authority to fire back at them. They may have arresting authority. I don't see where they would. Again, that's where more federal agencies should be involved.
Okay, pause. Let me see what this caller thinks. 8178. Welcome to the call. Are you from Chicago, and do you want them to come or you don't?
What's up, Jay? Tyrone Muhammad. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Mr. Muhammad?
Can you hear me?
Illinois Congress candidate. Yes, sir. Welcome to the call.
Man, United States Senate.
United States Senate. Congress still. Okay, go ahead.
Same thing, but I guess. With that being said, man, come or not, that ain't even an issue. We sit around here, and first of all, I hear people, even the post you made about people breaking the law. Man, when have the politician, Democrat or Republican, not broken the law? Bro, just the very nature of bringing in illegals and funding it with our money, then crying about Trump breaking the law to be in the front, possibly, because that's all it can be. It's not no real answer to whether he come or not. It's all politics and it's positioning to say, okay, you fat mouth mother gonna keep on talking, you punk ass punks gonna keep on talking, running your mouth talking about what I ain't gonna do and what I shouldn't do, and they running their mouth. Everything they got Trump deranged syndrome. Every damn thing they say out their damn mouth. It's Trump, 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 Trump. This is a Democratic-led city that we keep voting these same clowns back in office over and over again. I think it all is fitting because it is a representation of the further destruction of a party that people keep holding on to that ain't shit. You keep holding on to this damn party of politics while Trump's showing you they all bitches. They all punks. And you're going to keep on running and following up behind these people who have no answer about young black men and boys getting murdered, bro. Last 2 weeks, I've been to 2 morgues. In the last 2 weeks, I've been to 3 hospital beds with black women crying over their babies and their sons' brains and face shot all up, bro. We talking about some goddamn national guards. If you ain't gonna stand as a black man and say we gonna stand in the space of the environment, or even stand on the corners and be in the front like the National Guards would be, what the fuck should we be worried about whether they coming or not? When you know damn well the moment they leave, it's gonna still be some shooting. So why are we getting caught up in a stagecraft of politics, just like JB and them standing behind $800 billion structures of buildings? Talking about Trump coming. Again, we still on this Trump coming shit. Man, when we coming? When we as black men gonna come? Like, come on, man. That day, man, don't waste the people's time with that. Man, listen, it's all a joke.
Well,
it don't matter. It's stagecraft. It's police. You want to talk about law. Isn't it unlawful? Isn't it a humanitarian crisis? Isn't it a human rights crisis? That black people are killed in these neighborhoods every day? Isn't it unlawful not to respond to that shit?
Well, I'm first of all acting in the realm of a host because I have my own opinion. But is there anybody? Is there anybody who?
I say, come on, Tyrone.
But is there?
I say, brother.
But hold on. Just for the sake of conversation, is there anybody that has a response to what Tyrone? We obviously know who that is. That's it. Okay. Well, you got.
Let me finish, man. Listen, bro. Get it down. There ain't no reason why I ain't tell you, man, run as an independent. Because let me say this. After they get through destroying each other, after these two parties get through constantly beating and badgering each other, there's no such thing, first of all, as the United States of America. There's no such thing. Our states are not united. Our blocks and communities not even united. Furthermore, the Democratic Party ain't even united on what they think and believe, man. Nor is the Republican Party.
It's all a joke, bro. It's all a smoke screen, and and we the only people that's not united in the terms of the bullshit and the stagecraft that's operating while women and children are being fucking murdered and suffering in the community. Groups like ours who have proven records of stopping violence, of transforming the thought processes of young men. You cannot stop shootings without removing shooters off the streets. And none of these groups have been successful in doing that more than we have. My men don't go back to shooting their women and children up. But you won't get funded because violence and Black Death is a hustle. And y'all polar sisters, they just keep on voting for these clown-ass Democrats that has no strength, no power. Trump is a gangster. Man, gangsters need to be existing in this damn country because to give our money to non-citizens, protect TDA gang members from being even arrested for violating our communities, and then say what Trump is doing is illegal. Isn't it illegal for illegals to violate Black people and communities? And nobody do anything to respond, bro. Only reason I'm running for the United States Senate is to bust that bullshit up, to sit on the stage with them same lies and hypocrites and say, thus said the Lord. Die. I don't care. Y'all need to go. We keep voting for these people, bro. We keep allowing them to kill and play with our money. We keep paying taxes with no representation.
Okay, but hold on. So
Constitution say no taxation. I ain't finished.
You got but you got to pause because now you got the phone lines going up. We went from 30 calls to now we're looking at 60. Okay, but hold on, Congressman, hold on. Is there anybody that want to respond? It's like it's a lot of people on here. Anybody want to respond?
Yes. 5708.
I'd like to respond.
Go ahead, 5708. I heard you first. Go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, wherever you're located at. Here's the thing. I don't think it's about Republican versus Democrat. I really don't. I think it's about educated versus uneducated, in the sense that we all know politicians lie. We all know politicians vote for the best interest, and a majority of them are on the take. It is what it is. Neither party prior to, and people don't remember, but most African Americans were Republican. Most African Americans, especially in the Tulsa era, were predominantly successful. So, however it came to be that African American people started to vote Democratic and continued that, I think that's some generational things as far as our parents and them wanting to have a better life for us and believing that they had made it, coming from poverty and slavery and all of those different ideologies that occurred. Because most of our parents migrated from the South. We're at a point now where if you're not actively engaged in understanding and educating yourself, then you're going to vote just for the hell of voting, or in some cases, not vote at all. I've heard numerous amounts of African-American young women, oh, I voted for Trump because he the one that gave us the stimulus. And that's as far as that educational level goes. That's as far as that common sense level goes. I just want the best person for the job. I don't disagree with a lot of Trump's policies. I do not. I disagree in the execution of those policies and how they are related to the people. I have no love for Spike, and that's the mayor of Chicago, because he looked like Spike the Gremlin to me every time I see him. I have no love for Puff and Stuff, which is Prisker. The fact that the Southland suburbs, the Southland expressways are literally mine holes, and all the money that runs through the Southland, but we can't get any expressways taken care of. None. Those things matter. My taxes going up matters.
Okay, but but to be germane to the conversation, do you want to see the National Guard come in or not?
I do if it's provides stability. And where are they going to be located? Because in my mind, they may come, but they're going to focus because the louder the wheel is the downtown business district, right? That's when the George Floyd riots happened. That's what was protected. The West Sides and the South Sides were tore up. So are they coming to stabilize communities that are underfunded, underimpoverished? Then maybe that'll help, because what we have now, and I'm not bad at it. If you are an officer, these guys got Tech 9s and switches. You want to go home to your family too.
Interesting. Anyone else? Go ahead.
You want to go home. You want to go home.
Bro,
so if that's where they're going to be, to stabilize a community, to allow people, because it's not everyone. I'm not saying it's everyone, but you can't escape that we had how many murders, how many shootings over the holiday season. That's reality. That's reality.
But shouldn't the better conversation be, do we have the right leadership in office? Shouldn't the better conversation be, do we have the right leadership to respond? We talking about National Guard, right? Listen
to what I'm saying. You're asking,
come or not come?
No,
you've been asking. Do you need it,
sir? We do not have the right leadership in office. That's a gift, right? We know that to be facts. However, we're here now, right? And so, how many more years does he have on his term? 3. Exactly. So until we can,
should we have the National Guard?
Absolutely. If it stabilizes communities. Now, I'm not saying, I don't believe the National Guard is coming and they don't act. They're not trained to act in a defensive, responsive measure. So if you are walking down the street, I saw no National Guards actually stop someone based on their color.
So I think that changes, right? Because I actually seen the National Guard deployed in New York, and I've seen the National Guard now by firsthand experience deployed in Washington, D.C. And they were doing random checkpoints. You've seen them in pairs of 2 in various communities, mostly just having what I would consider to be community policing type engagement. I did see them go to assist local police officers when they were addressing someone for a suspected crime. And so now that I've seen this, I believe that with this type of deployment, you would actually see them where you not normally would see them, because their mission actually would be the neighborhoods. But where, we don't know. But Trump declared literally not more than 7 hours ago, we're going in. It is official. The president has said it out of his mouth. The troops will be in Chicago soon.
So even if I think your phone going in and out, your voice, but even then the National Guard's coming, and I say stagecraft because they're gonna be positions on corners. For instance, in the inner cities, shootings gonna still happen while the National Guard is here. For one, you can't cover the whole populace of Chicago. And if you're not deploying them in probably the 7 or 8 most violent communities, then what's the purpose of sitting the National Guard if it's only going to be on corners of downtown? Well, at least crime happen anyway. But I'm not trying to know. That's the problem. We get caught all up in speculation of what's going to happen. And when you can't even know what's the hell going to happen to us when we walk out the doors of our houses. In our community.
Well, we don't know that.
It's like with the National Guard coming, sister. It's like,
and I'm on the same page. I will say this to you, and it's just what it is. If I'm driving my vehicle downtown and one of your little YNs jump on my damn car, I'ma like they
one of my YNs.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what you mean? Wait.
So hold on, ladies and gentlemen, because
I don't have YNs. I
There,
don't refer to young women's sons and daughters as YNs and all that. I don't do that. And you're a part of the problem.
okay, so
You're a part
ladies,
of the problem.
ladies,
You
ladies and gentlemen,
first of all, Tanya.
we have
You disrespectful to our children. And no woman would like you calling her child that.
well, we do have
And I
a,
don't want her.
ladies and gentlemen,
no real woman
ladies and
wants
gentlemen,
their children
I would hate to
breaking into
push
someone's
mute.
home.
If we could just all just hold on, because we want to get down. Yes. Oh, give me 1 second. There are literally 300 people, and the number keeps growing, that are listening to you guys. Many people have different conversations, backgrounds, and understandings, and those of us that are on this platform may help them. So we don't want to become combative with each other. We want to just talk about the facts. Everybody has different perspectives. But hold on. So I want to put this back. I want to put this back on. But hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I want to put this back on task. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody pause? I'm just asking you to pause, because this is something else that was just told to Reuters by the mayor of the city of Chicago. He just wants his own secret police force that will do publicity stunts whenever his poll numbers are sinking, whenever his job report shows a stagnating economy, whenever he needs another distraction from his failures. Basically, these are the actions that he takes. The mayor of Chicago is saying that he stands against this because it's only a political ploy from the president. It's not about safety.
Yep.
Anybody has a response to that?
I agree. That's what I said. That's what I said. We so caught up in.
I don't agree that it's a political ploy.
Even if he truly wanted the city to be safe,
I don't make a comment.
I currently live in Dalton.
So 1003, you have not got to say something. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jedediah, and everybody else on the call. I just have my comment is going to be short and sweet and right to the point. When the president first spoke about sending the National Guards to Chicago, we all saw the press conference when all our the people that we elected did the press conference in front of beautiful north side Chicago over by the lake, right? Mm-hmm. And so the fear was they were coming into our communities, into Black communities, right? And they were going to arrest us. That was the narrative that they put out, that we should be scared and they're going to protect us. And then it came out that the president is here and asking other federal agencies to come here and assist with immigration. And now, when we hear immigration, so now there's this big outcry. Oh, he's coming in here. He's going to arrest, people here, working class people. The president has made it clear that his immigration efforts will be for criminals that came into this country and continuing their criminal ways. Period. We always gloss over that because we want to hear what we want to hear. Oh, they're going to be arresting children at school. They're going to be arresting guys from their job. They are criminals. Period.
But so 5464 had a natural reaction to that.
I'm gonna be finished in a second.
Go ahead.
And y'all can have the floor. Now, this mayor got up at the Labor Day march they had downtown and sat up there and was real cute telling his people to protect this land. We're going to protect this land, the land that our ancestors built. The land that our ancestors built. And right now, you got people whose houses are being taken away by Cook County.
No, sorry, she got me with that one.
Generational wealth for families for centuries. But you want us, you want black people to fall and be sympathetic toward the people. Raise a concern about the issues, the degradation that we black people have went through in this country, in the city of Chicago. So my thing is, bring there are gangs and drug cartels that have inundated themselves in this city. MS-13, this other chance can't remember the name. Yesterday, the missiles killed a boat, stopped the boat with drugs from Venezuela. It's coming to Chicago. Stop it. We had them take over a building in South Shore. What did this government, I'm talking about the city and the state government, do? Did they do anything to protect black people in South Shore? No, they didn't. So don't call on us. Don't call on us. I welcome ATF, DEA, immigration, whatever federal agency that the president is sending to this city to ensure safety. Now, let me say something else, and then I'm done. My condolences go out to every mother, every father that lost a child in this city. My condolences go out to every child that lost a parent in this city. Jedediah, I have a question I can say that will comfort them. But what I do want to say is, while the governor and the mayor is flaunting the low crime rate here in this city, and crime has went down. If you go back, I'm done in a minute. If you go back, the deadliest Labor Day weekend was in 2018. That's the one they reported. Hold on. That's the one they reported. 1 second, and I'm done. Not this weekend. Crime is down in this city, but it had not because of the man, but because of the violent events and organizations in this city that has been chipping away for years on the streets of Chicago. And I'm done. I give kudos to what you said about the violence prevention, but the reality is crime has not went down. That's what they report. If the mayor, because he's not mine, was concerned about crime, he would have never taken down ShotSpotter without having a replacement. And the problem that I see or have is that law-abiding citizens, African-American law-abiding citizens who are paying taxes and want to go to work and raise their families are getting the short end of the stick and blamed because we don't want the lawlessness. The lawlessness is real. When I'm watching a video at the west side of high school where this boy, and I mean it's 300 people at a picnic filming. They didn't pistol whip the boy. Everybody's filming, okay? Because it's on the internet. And then they shoot him. Everybody's filming. When you see those things and the report is, oh, well, he was a snitch, or there is no respect. There is none. And you can call them whatever you want to call them. You can say they have issues and all of that, but there are resources. There are things for our children to do. Then either you go back to the parent, because I don't care what you say, unless you're doing your own thing, you got to know where your 13-year-old is. You got to know where your 14 and 15-year-old is. You got to
let me say this though. Let me hold on 1 second. Helen, give me 1 second. No, give me 1 second. Helen, give me a second, please. Please give me a second. 2025 compared to 3 years prior with the average was saw a 32% decrease in shootings, a 32 decrease in homicides. And basically with the 5.35 per 1,000 residents in early 2005 compared to the national average, crime statistically is down. Crime has not been eradicated, but it is factually decreased.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it may be decreased. Okay, so look, it may be decreased, but what about the brazenness of the crimes? The brazenness of the crimes is far more catastrophic looking than people saying, "Oh, the crime numbers have decreased." It's also allegations that they've been counting these shootings as accidental homicides and not shootings.
They're not coding. Let me say this. They have the brazenness. I agree with what you said about the brazenness of the crime. That is definitely a concern. But when we go back and we look no bail bonds. You could just get out of jail without bail, and then the defunding of the police. It's a lot of factors that play into that. Simply because there was a time when black men were being arrested, charged, and convicted for years and years and years of crimes that they didn't commit. Now, we do need a balance. And I think that's the issue. We don't have a balance, especially with our police
who wants to defund the police?
It's either we can kill black men or we can't kill black men. And now, no, you can't kill black men. So that could be one of the issues as to why the crime is so crazy.
Okay, so I have a question then. I have a question to be fair. I have a question to be fair. I believe I still have Tyrell Muhammad on here. I hear that sounds like Helen. I just got a question. Just being devil's advocate here. Again, I have my own perspective. I'm being a host. I got a question. Are we not happy for no cash bail? Because wouldn't this be what we fought for? Is that not a good policy for the mention? Hold on. I asked that specifically to two people who were here during that fight. Is that not a good policy?
Let me say, because I was here, that is a good policy. But did we fight for specific crimes that falls up under this no cash bail? Did we say, if you murder 5 people in a community and you go to court, the judge could set you free? So
I'm probably the only one on this line. I'm probably the only one on this line that's been affected by the no cash bail. And I'm probably the only one on this line either talk to the police chief once a week, a superintendent.
No, I just got out of jail for that. Alleged mob action, right?
Not your as an ex-felon, even a misdemeanor. From the no bail crime, cash bail, most people don't even know Tyrone Muhammad pastor that went to jail for trespassing at a migrant shelter had to stay in jail 2 days because of the ex-con. The no cash bail put me back in front of a judge. When something is normally a misdemeanor, you get released from the police station. Under the no cash bail, you get to prison. You go back to the jail and you sit there until you hear a judge to determine the seriousness of the charge because you are formally incarcerated. So the perpetual discrimination that happens as a result of that, with what the sister was saying, depending on the type of crime or whatever it is, it doesn't serve everybody the same. Furthermore, so it's not good for brothers that's been in prison. That is not good for them. Because something that's normally, they've been through the parole process, something that's normally, that would get you released on a signed paperwork from the police station, land them in jail, and the judge is like, what? You mean to tell me this man is sitting up in here because he trespassed on some illegal, a citizen up over some illegals and for no misdemeanor? Man, it was crazy, even in the courtroom, bro. So our rights are being violated for stuff that we didn't even ask for. We didn't ask for the migrants to be here. We didn't ask for the criminal migrants to be here. We didn't ask for none of this stuff that we sitting here going back and forth with each other over, as though we are the enemies of each other based off the policy shit that we didn't even put forth. Or they didn't even listen to us. So with that being said, Jedediah, I'm gonna close with this. No, the National Guard is not good for our communities. It's still political fodder. The only thing it serves as is to show that Donald Trump is a gangster. He's gonna do what the hell he wants to, just like the Democrats did what the hell they wanted to when they brought these thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in here without our permission to put them in our neighborhoods, right? Furthermore, the only way to stop shootings, believe in them stats, Jedediah. Stop quoting that shit. Then I gotta ask you where you get it from. See, if you start quoting these stats, bro, we doing the same thing. We're perpetuating the same violence.
Don't attack the host. I'm giving you what
don't quote it,
I'm giving you the facts as they reporting them. This is what they're reporting. This is what the city of Chicago is reporting, sir.
Okay, then we need to find out where they get the stats from. Because University of Chicago, the biggest gentrifier in chief, crime lab, in Chicago, the news media and politicians, and then take the violence prevention stats, and then they compile it and make it to what they want to do.
Now, you know what? But hold on before you get off of here, and I hope Helen didn't hang out because I'm going to ask all of y'all this one last question for me before I even go any further. But I do want to point this out. The gentleman on the line name is Tyrone Muhammad. We were standing right there during this press conference, calling for residents to speak up against basically tyrannical leadership. And while we were standing there, we were surrounded by every level of police, state, the city, the bodyguards, like everybody's police was on just me and Tyrone standing right there on the right flank of this press conference. They did not want us to speak out, but they're telling the residents to speak out. The hypocrisy is unscathed.
Something before they don't want you all to.
I just want to close out real quick. That on this.
But hold on. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'll let him close out because he does have to go get on his campaign trail. But Mr. So I want to ask you to add to your closing, and it's the same thing I'm asking for everybody on the line to do. It seems like when you try to have this conversation, it keeps on expanding the party, if it's lawful, what it will mean, if it's going to be safe or not. I think that for the average citizen, can you simplify what the actual issue is and solution is in your closings so that the simple mind and the everyday citizen can grasp what's going on and have a real live perspective? Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
We're gonna start with Tyrone. We'll start with Tyrone.
So Jedediah, I'm gonna keep listening. I have to get off. But look, this is what I want to say. It is unacceptable to me as a black man that our government, which is what I would tell Donald Trump. Matter of fact, I think I got to meet at the Trump Tower today. I'm gonna tell Trump it is unacceptable to me as a black man where you withhold resources from our community, our citizens, because of Loudmouth Johnson and Loudmouth Crystal. Since you will not give the resources directly to them, and our citizens are calling for help, resources, and opportunities. As our president, we are asking you figure out a way to divert those resources from them people that have violated and misused and abused the resources. It is absolutely clear that Democrats in this state has given our resources to white women-led organizations, LGBTQ-led organizations, and give them to all these people that has historically, systemically profited off of black death. We're saying to you, we're saying to the government, to Trump, is what I'm going to say to him, that do not give them the resources. You want to rationalize not they haven't been great fiscal managers of the budget, because the budget, if y'all don't know it, the budget is $16 billion more than when J.B. Pritzker took over. If you trace the final money and start what $16 billion went, you're going to find that $16 billion didn't hit our community. So when we start talking about what Trump doing in terms of cutting this and cutting that, he's cutting programs that we have no input on, probably so. But he's cutting a lot of stuff that keeps them from doing this and this campaign contribution money that he's been giving the governor and the city of Chicago been giving to violence prevention groups, social change groups, legal groups, all types of groups. All types of groups has received wealth, y'all. They have received this money. So all I would say to Trump is get the resources to the people that necessary. I know, guarantee, and I've said it right now. There's 100 dudes in this city, in Chicago, because I'm on the ground and these different sections, cliques, and areas. There's 100 dudes in Chicago. If properly funded and built up, they would do what the Chicago police could do in one day. But see, they don't want black men stepping up. That's why the Clinton 94 crime bill removed leaders off the streets. So these young boys that violating and terrorizing our women and children can run these streets and do exactly what they're doing. Trump did not do that. Our own elected officials did that. And the police will tell you today, you can ask anyone, a Wallace, any top cop will tell you, removing your brothers off the streets, because just the thought of you killing a woman and a child, your quick ass to be found dead in a dog on the abandoned building. You're not going to do that. Now we have no strong men to run the streets to deal with, as the sisters like to say, the little YNs. So y'all don't protect them, they don't support them, they don't fund them, and then you violate them and even disrespect the very men who stopping niggas from shooting you every day. So I know this is real. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen by the National Guard. That's all stagecraft, just like they had a stagecraft over down on the lake down there in downtown. We have to empower communities, women, strong women, the Helens, the people, everybody that got a voice has to be at this table to fix the conditions of our end. Because these, I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to say it again, these young ladies are worse. I'd rather deal with a shooter than to deal with some of these young girls that actually stoking a lot of the flames. You don't know how many fires I done put out because a girl lied or a girl did some stuff or said some stuff to another clique and said that a dude did to them. When they over there freaking with them, and then they freaking with this clique, and then now they in the middle of some crazy crowd. So I'm telling y'all, it's deeper than we really understand, and we need our women on the front line too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr.
Muhammad. The issue is, like Jedediah, you turn home before you go, like you guys witnessed. You were standing there and you seen that huge Verizon network behind Dexter. Those are all the people that been getting anti-violence grants in the community to stop the violence for decades. Brandon Johnson, he ran on the whole thing about the money police. And so when we see the National Guard, even during the George Floyd protest, we see a video of the Chicago police and officers downtown sleep. All the National Guard patrolling the street. Yeah. So either you want help or you don't want help. Don't let them psych y'all out into not wanting to. You don't know what. So they do. Let them assist. Something has to be done. What's going to happen? Understand that who's going to not tolerate it anymore. If they're not doing their job, which they've had multiple decades to do, Brandon Johnson can be recalled, by the way. There is a recall mechanism in Chicago. He had 1 year to sit there and he can get gone. Okay? So nobody has to wait 3 more years for him to pull it together. The violence has to stop. This is a national
emergency. And I'm not going to sit and act like it ain't because it's black and brown people and they think that's the norm in our community. No, that's not normal. This violence should not ever be normal. It should ever be tolerated. It's a war crime.
We got 200 and 300 genocide Saturday at 3 o'clock. Y'all welcome to be there. Why they staging to come in these communities? I'm taking 200 to 300 little homies downtown in their playground. Since our kids can't have a proper safe playground, we gonna go down on Rush and Bellevue on the corner with white folks and Negro in the foot and big time Negroes is eating steak and lobsters. We going down there to tell them that this is not Chicago. This right here is bootleg, rich, elite class playground and eating environment. Why our kids are starving with food baskets and no restaurant. We going downtown and we gonna with black men and chaperones and we bringing our kids down to tell the world, the governor, the mayor, the president, and say that these young brothers right here deserve a steak dinner too. These black kids deserve it too.
I agree with
So
you.
3 o'clock Saturday at 3 o'clock, we on Rush and Bellevue.
But I also agree with you to a certain degree. What I don't agree with is if you want to stay, you should have a job. The Bible said if a man don't work, he don't eat.
All that.
Brother Muhammad, I agree with you to a certain degree. But what I also see is there is lawlessness.
What was your question? What was your question again?
There is lawlessness.
So the question.
What was your question again? You wanted us to answer.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for catching that. So basically, the question is for the listener who is trying to get a full understanding, like simplify this because the conversation keeps expanding from party to if it'll be safe, to if it'll be effective, to what's its true intent. Can you please give your perspective for the simple mind and for the everyday resident who is just trying to understand the implications of what we're hearing?
Let me give my closing. For the everyday resident, just be observant. Watch, listen, listen to as much news and then go back and pull it apart for yourself and for your family so that you are clear about how you as your and your family will move or interact in this environment. Period. It's not a whole lot. We cannot keep, if Jedi asked a question, we know all about the history, we know the social ills, We can run it down. It's memorized, it's stuck in our memory. But what we hear on this call to give the residents something to help them so that they're not running around here like a lady with her hair on fire and they ain't did nothing. My message is these federal agencies that Trump is sending here are here for the illegal criminal element. Period. Right. Period. That's who they're here for. They're not here for you, black people. You know who here for you? The city of Chicago, the county of Cook, and the state of Illinois when they take your shit from you. That's right. But let me just simplify.
Shit, that was heavy.
Period. Educate yourselves. When community meetings start, when boots on the ground, people start holding community meetings, and we want to do political education. So we get all the facts, not just the Facebook facts. Educate yourself on everything, on all the facts. Whatever is going on in your community or in your city, we have to stop. Just keep believing everything we hear.
And sometimes what we see. That's it for me, Jedediah. Everybody, y'all have a good
Before you
evening.
hang up that
Bye.
phone, before you hang up that phone, I want to say this. You have Tyrone Muhammad, you have Helen, community leaders. We do not always agree. We fight each other publicly and behind closed doors. But this is the point. When it's time to get to work, or somebody is threatening the community and or us, we put our differences aside and we get to work and then we fight again after. That's what it's going to take for citizens of this country to understand. We are not each other's enemies, and we do not have enough we don't have enough to even really be each other's enemy. We need to band together and do something about this. So with that being said, knowing that you guys are getting off the phone, I really hope in the coming days we will have conversations and or plans because I expect nothing less than for you all to remain and be in the front lines of all of this.
If you don't go, we do for our town hall, Jedediah. We procrastinate. Let's go.
Understood. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Helen. Let me see if anybody else got a closing statement. I think that was 5011. I saw your thing kept going up. What did you want to say? 5011.
Like, even if people want the help or they don't want the help, most people can't even remember when the National Guard was last year, which was last year. If you didn't have no problems then, you're not going to have any problems now. I know that this crime issue has not been addressed properly, and something needs to be done. There's far too many homicides going on, and I would be highly disappointed if the National Guard does not make an impact on the violence. But as a community, we do know who the shooters are because they do it all the time. You have to band together and turn them in, point blank, period. And if the police do not want to cooperate, then you need to know how to have them declassified as officers, decertified as officers, that is, because they must do their job. We're not supposed to police the community. They are, but we're supposed to give information that they're supposed to take and act on. We can't just let them take this community by design because everybody knows they said that they were going to have all the black people out of Chicago with homicide, genocide, tear the project down, push us out to the suburbs. You see it's happening. It's not a conspiracy theory. So when you're seeing people that are not willing to work together, we work with people that we don't like in our professional jobs every day. And so as elected officials, they need to work with each other. Trump came in offering reparations his first term. No one wanted to come to the table but Kanye West, Steve Harvey, and Joe Brown. What's going on? Now we're asking for protection. He's willing to do that. They're not willing to come to the table. They want to have a forceful fight and a feud, and it's doing nothing when they're heavily protected. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. 0721.
Sorry about that, sir. Yeah, I do live in Chicago, though. But yeah, half of my mind says National Guard should come to Chicago, and half of my mind says they should. On the side, though, I would say, why don't y'all have the National Guard go to the field like Old Block or probably 79 for L Town or K Town and stuff like that? I mean, that's where all mostly all the chaos starts over there. I'll say that. But like, say like, I work a late night shift. I'm just waiting on the bus. Tell me, now what happens if a National Guard pulls up to me, see me smoking a black and mild? They think it's me. What's up? I probably tell the National Guard to leave me hell alone, just nothing but guard or nothing like that. And plus, I get off lit. So I'll say probably be somewhere me for most perspective.
Yo, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, so that's pretty much about it.
So you wait. So you.
Yeah,
So I just want clarity from you, sir. You want them in, or you don't want them in?
It has for me. Basically, I'll say, yeah, it's going to help our city. Yes. I mean, shit.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Hello.
Thank you for calling in, sir. I'm sorry, but who's that talking? 7460. You wanted to say something? The person that was saying hello?
Hello.
Yes, we hear you.
Oh yeah, I'm just calling to give my input. I pray for the city. I pray for everyone across the world, especially our city, Chicago. This with Sean Bustin' Loose Clothing, and I'm an 80 baby from Chicago, and I feel Trump doing what he's doing. Somebody had to do it. I don't agree with everything the president say, but everybody got their opinions on what they do, whatever. But the proof being the pudding. And I'm an 80s baby again from Chicago, from the streets to corporate life now. Want to help the streets somehow. I done sat down with you, Mr. Jedediah, a few times. Operation Push, Old Block, at the church, So I commend you to continue doing that for us, man, like you do. And someday I hope we can sit down and I can help a positive, whatever positive I'm with. I'm just going to continue to pray for us all.
Thank you for that. So wait, you said you want them to come in the National Guard, or you don't?
I mean, nobody listening to the mama, the daddy, the police, and nobody. And it's only so long it's going to fall into your backyard. And then that's what's happening right now. And the parents is helping sponsor the kids with this. They the ones that's leaving them home. They're the ones that got them living in their house. They're the ones that buying their shyster passes. They're the ones that's leaving them unmonitored. And they going to get the bag for them. So they can try to think they're going to get an early retirement off the kids probably or something. I don't know. So they can go viral or something, so they can retire. So a lot of the parents playing roles in this stuff. And they can stop it. They let them take the pictures from kids to older, throwing up signs. Signs mean something. Using the word gang, and all that. Knowing that means something. Like, we got the teachers playing with the kids with that word. That word means something. You came with blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of things people do is to overplay for the underlay. And I know that for sure. I'm an 80s baby from Chicago, east side, south side. 8 Trey Stone chairs across the whole city. But I see what's going on across the world and stuff. I just pray for love and peace across the world. But we see what's going on. We know what's going on. Some people, they hide their hand. They throw rocks and hide their hands. So whoever don't want these people to come in and stop this violence, I think they probably part of the problem a little bit. Because somebody got to get some structure around here.
It's interesting. Well, thank you so much for calling in, brother.
All right.
Well, Jedediah, my final thought, this is 5708, and then I'm going, is I absolutely agree with that 80s baby, and I'm not an 80s baby. Because I feel like if you're doing what you do, and you're doing it by the law, how does the National Guard come in and affect you? What's the takeaway from that? How does that stop? And that's why for everyday normal people, I really don't see it being an issue because it's not going to move the needle for you one way or the other. And you're going to do the same exact thing you've been doing. You're not out there looking to be a nuisance or cause crime or, you know what I mean? So therefore, it doesn't matter if they're there or not. But I do think the full scope of that is that there are kids out there that have been taken out of the DCF system. They aged out and they don't have anywhere to go. So the gangs and the street have become their family. I don't necessarily know, and there is a breakdown with the mental health. So those are the components. But the leadership is not doing anything to support those kids. The only thing he wants to say is don't demonize them. True, but what happened to the mental health facilities? Why isn't the crime prevention money that they're so seeking being used to build those mental health facilities, to build those vocational trainings for ComEd, People's Gas, and things like that? So it's a bigger issue, but it's been a bigger issue for a little while, and now we're here, and the fire's the fire. So I definitely appreciate Jedediah and Muhammad and Helen for being the community advocate. But it's not just about don't demonize the kids. It's about fighting for the resources to change the trajectory. Because right now we're in the fire. You know, when you're scared to go get gas, when you are nervous about going to a gas station, just basic stuff. I mean, whether it's the internet, whether it's the news, you do have a group, and more than a little, that's just running up, robbing folks, running up, knocking people out, shooting them. That's not okay. That part's not okay. So let's stabilize and then build resources.
All right.
And you all have a good day. I gotta go back to work.
You too. Thank you. Have a good day. That leaves us with you, 3677.
Oh, okay. I just know you do need some extra support. I also know this is Suicide Awareness Month, and also we're living in times where people are fearful. They're not going to say it, but it's a big increase in suicide in our communities. People don't understand what it's like to be faced when a crime actually occurs. Because I'm the one that helps people when somebody knocked on the door for the blood. And some people will not open up the door because they are afraid. I don't believe in calling them wide in. That is disrespectful because you still have to talk to the people. I talk to young people. So you have to get aware of your community, work with your block. We just got to start off with the block. But I'm for the National Guard because I'm a baby boomer, and the National Guard was here before on the west side. If you're not, like the lady said, if you're not doing no crime, you ain't got to worry about it. You might get pulled over or just follow the law. I mean, I just think it's just so simple that we do need some help. And people want to debate, go back and forth, Republicans and Democrats. I agree with a lot of stuff I don't. It starts with us. And it's just crazy. I just hope that we get it right, stop killing each other. And young people, they just need help. It's not enough social workers. We just need Jesus. And I just hope people start fighting the advocate. Mind their business. If you ain't help nobody, just be quiet. Instead of demonize, like you said, don't demonize them. They do need help. But like they not getting the right help. They just can't come and destroy the communities. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just overwhelmed to listen to y'all. I appreciate everything you do, Muhammad, all the black advocates in Chicago.
Thank you.
That's all I got to say.
Talk to you. Thank you. All right. Count it up. 56, 54, 64.
This conversation has gone in so many different directions than what it originally started with. And I just want to say I do not agree with the National Guard coming because it's on a false pretense. And I feel like it's going to go in a bad direction because we have a lot of young people that are out of control because they don't have anybody to look up to, and they're focused on being content creators and making money on social media. And my biggest fear is that you're going to have the ones that have no common sense that are going to try to shoot at the National Guard. And if they shoot at the National Guard, I'm sure they're going to have to shoot back. And then you're going to end up with innocent people, once again, losing their lives. And this is going to get escalated. And I feel like if Trump really cared about all the crime in all the states and all the cities, it should have started in the states and the cities with the highest murder rates. And not start with the blue cities and states that he has a beef with.
It's crazy because
it's also the confusion of part of it is cut crime, and the other part is you come in to fight immigration.
But you also got to remember they canceled the temporary status on Haitians. Well, guess what? Haitians and blacks, African Americans look a lot alike. So even if they're innocent, there's plenty of American citizens that have been detained for more than 72 hours, for more than a week, because that's just what they wanted to do. But if they're going to be here and they're going to be genuine and people can act like they got a little bit of sense and not try to push the envelope with, let me see how many likes I can get on social media by acting cool with the National Guard, then maybe some things can happen. But we didn't become Chirac overnight. I'm a 70s baby. I grew up on 69th and Peoria. We grew up and have our head on the swivel every time a car came around the corner. So I'm not blaming this on Pritzker. I'm not blaming this on Johnson. We've had plenty of mayors, Democratic, Republican. We've had plenty of governors, Democratic, Republican. We still always had crime. But it would be nice if the crime could decrease. But I just don't see this as being a genuine action by the president and the National Guard, and especially when this National Guard coming in from red states. Because then that makes me think, why you send red into blue? I'm not gonna go there about the red and the blue. It's just that there's so many other levels to where it's not just what they're saying on top, it's what else is going on underneath that's really trying to be achieved.
Thank you so much for your comment.
It's crazy because I think it's only the Midwest. It's only the Midwest that's getting punished. Chicago is definitely going to be Michigan and Baltimore. Those are the only two states we can have for.
Is that your final comment?
Well, yeah. I mean, all I have to say is that if the National Guard does come, everybody be patient, be safe, do not panic. They come up to you to do what they say, and they be out the way. If you figure that they're doing if you figure that they're in the wrong, make sure you prove them to be right. Make sure that you prove them to be right.
Do I know you? Do I know you? I know this voice. This voice is familiar to me. The 0721 number. Do I know you?
You do.
Okay. Yeah, don't make it weird.
You do.
Huh?
You do.
Okay. What's your name?
You do. It's Jay.
JB. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling me, JB. Appreciate it. 8034.
You just call me Old Faithful.
Oh, hey, you got to find a comment?
Yeah, I do. I say let them come. I say let's see what happens. I say I gotta mention one thing. That lady who mentioned somebody shooting at the National Guard, that never even occurred to me. I think someone would have to be clinically insane to do that. That thought didn't even go through my mind. That really, like, my bug-eyed when I heard that. And in addition, I need to remind people that this is it's supposed to be about an immigration issue, not a race issue. Immigration. However, it's predominantly the Hispanic group that is being targeted for immigration. And I think that at this point, let's just let them come through and see what happens. But I also need to talk about resources. People keep talking about resources. Listen, I had health insurance, okay? And my policy got expired. Not just me, my whole policy, there were thousands of us. It was on a legacy policy. It canceled. I can't get good health insurance to save my life now if it's not going to cost me like six figures at least a month, which is ridiculous. Now, a lot of these people people who are here illegally are getting better health care than I, and that is a problem for me. I can't get health care, right? Unless because I made too much money last year. I can't qualify. This year I've had some problems. Chad, you noticed my respiratory issues yesterday. I've got some issues, but I'm kind of screwed right now. But all of these other people are getting better insurance than me that don't even belong there, and that's my problem. That's a burning point with me because it affects me directly. So that's something to be said.
I'm so not happy, and I got to get off of this thing and really pray and ask God and talk to Him because I still hear respiratory problems, and that doesn't match what I believe. So I got to see something about that. So I'm gonna be praying for you tonight because I was expecting something and then it ain't happened yet. So thank you for calling in. I'm pretty sure I'll be hearing from you again in the near future.
I'm faithful. I got your back.
All right.
Uh,
11:40.
sure.
You're gonna be the last one. Final comments. The National Guard come in Chicago, and what are your thoughts?
Hi, Jed and INA family. My thoughts are that yes, they should come in, simply because something has to be done. I generally don't agree with Trump and his ideologies and the way he says and conducts himself and does things, but in this instance, I would have to agree. But being a Democrat my entire life, I'm 50 something years old, voting straight Democratic, not even thinking about it. This just makes sense. But my thing is, it's short term. It's not a long term situation. So when you talk about long term, we need to figure out how we can help these young men. The parents, we have churches, 2 and 3 churches on one block. Churches need to get involved with the community, schools. Maybe there can be a way where teachers can identify students that they know are involved. Like there has to be a way to identify these young boys that need help, that need the guidance, that could benefit from a job, or maybe a career, some type of resource to. I just think the National Guard would be short term, but we need to work on using our common sense to figure out how we can help these young men. And we have to identify them and the people closest to them. And if there's a way that they could, and we could just pull them together and get them some jobs training and line them up with jobs, I think that's part of the problem too. They don't have any way to take care of themselves.
Okay. So you said bring them or not?
Yes, bring them.
Yes.
But don't put them downtown.
Do I know who you
They
are?
need to be.
Your voice sounds familiar too.
This is Sylvia.
Okay.
West Side. Would you call me Chi-Town?
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah, bring them to Inglewood and to the West Side and put them where they need to be. We don't need to protect downtown if you take care of the inner city.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Sylvia. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. At one point, I looked down and it was 50 something calls, and I did not add them on because we would have been here all day. We went from 20 to 30 to 50 to 60. It really revved up when Tyrone Muhammad began to talk his talk. I just want to give this as a final thought from myself. I try my best to have a neutral perspective to just hear, because in order to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. In order to be a great speaker, you got to be a great listener. In order to be a great child of God, you got to carry forgiveness and mercy. And I hope that bottles up what a lot of people were questioning me about in the comment section. Why and how? That's why. Because we're not the same. And I literally, at the end of the day, I care about all of our community, including the ones I don't like and or agree with. Now, beyond that, things hit me a little differently because of the life that I've lived. And I will say that I agree with so many things, but if you were listening to this podcast today, you've gotten a wealth of information that most people probably would miss. The most powerful and impactful thing today that hit me was the National Guard is not coming for you. to the local residents. The National Guard isn't coming for you, but the city police force, the county's elected officials, and the state's lack of effectiveness is. We're trying to debate about what the federal government is doing. We're sitting here asleep at the wheel with what our own state government is doing to us every single day. And that is why we cannot be proud of the rhetoric. Because if I stood up as a Chicago resident, I wouldn't be talking about Trump or talking about the National Guard. I will be talking about the people at the podium acting as if, for some odd reason, finally, I matter. When the proof is in the pudding, I don't. Now, I just came back to Chicago from a red state, and I have a very interesting perspective. This is what I'm going to say about today. These are the points that I don't want you to miss. Tyrone Muhammad said it best. There are about 100 people in the city of about 1.2 million that literally can get a handle on the gun violence because it takes a special kind of person to be a shooter. Everybody don't carry that kind of ability. And those people often know each other. On the south and the west side of Chicago, even though there's no organization or institutions, if I'm going to certain neighborhoods, I already know who to call before I get there. And most real Chicagoans know that. But I want to tell you something really, 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 really interesting. Not one of those people are funded by our government, citywide, countywide, statewide, and certainly not federal. The reason why is what I expressed, because those people, they have a different mentality, and you cannot buy them or boss them. They will end up taking your resources and holding you if it doesn't line up with what they want and envision for themselves and the community. But those are the ones who can make the impact. Another thing that was brought out in today's broadcast, most people don't have a clue if they want it or they don't, because we just simply want things to change. We know that this is not a long-term solution, but let me tell you something about this. When you sit here and listen to crime being down, that don't matter. When you know what it feels like to sit down across from a mother who just lost her baby, you cannot say crime is down. She wants everybody to get it, no matter who, no matter how, no matter where. Crime is down. It's a horrible response when people are still being murdered. And I'll never forget the day when I first saw a child murder. That child was Tyshawn Lee. And I'll never forget how the community responded because it wasn't normal. And not too long after, I will be going to another scene of another child, Brandon Smith. And ever since then, I saw the crowd get smaller and smaller and smaller because it became normalized to see a child get shot and gunned down in the city of Chicago. Doesn't matter if they was outside, in the car, or in their home. It was happening every damn weekend. This hits me differently. And I have a different feel when I remember seeing the numbers being something like out of a horror movie. And I see the fear every day. Still to this day, on the south and the west side of Chicago, you will not be outside getting gas or looking for food or enjoying the park or walking along the river or going throughout your neighborhood because you will be afraid of getting shot or being killed, literally being kidnapped to this very day. And what is the point of me saying that? Because I remember going from scene to scene to scene, feeling helpless and hopeless, trying to give a voice to the voiceless, and getting to the point where it was almost like we were pleading like fish in a fishbowl. We need somebody to help. I remember those days. I'll never forget them. I'll never forget the many nights that even if it was not even a member of my organization, a relative of my family, a friend in my life, or just a neighbor on my block, I remember those days when I couldn't even sleep because I could only see the images of those who were dead on city streets. As a matter of fact, let me be a little bit more clear. When I drive throughout the city of Chicago, sometimes I literally get depressed because even if the buildings change, I remember who laid on those blocks. And this is my point. You don't know what the hell a Chicagoan feels if you ain't lived a Chicagoan's lifetime experience. But I know one thing for a fact: Chicago is not a normal city. Chicago is tough. Chicago is real tough. The only reason why we're having this conversation is because we've also been played with, taken advantage of, and taken for granted by the people who are now claiming to defend us. And I question what they're defending us from because their villains are them. The villains have been them. And the crazy part is we know it. And that is why they're not doing the press conference in the neighborhood because we would quickly tell them to shut the hell up because we know you lying. And I can speak that because even when I left, I never disconnected. Ladies and gentlemen, my position is real simple. Ain't none of this about black lives. So I'm going to be very clear. They all need to sit down and understand that they are all duly elected to do a job, and that is to solve it from their level. But the reason why they don't have to is because if we have a conversation about if the National Guard should come or not, we don't even know how to stay focused in that conversation. We don't know how to appreciate the facts over our feelings. We don't know how not to get into an argument or disingenuous engagement and or thinking that one is better or bigger or smarter or more capable than the other. We literally sat on here for literally 2 hours almost, and I have no more clarity right now or if we overwhelmingly want it or if we don't. And because they know that, they will continue to play politics in our face because it's not about doing what's right by us. It's about doing what's best for them to keep their position on either side. Send the National Guard or don't send the National Guard. Because either way, we have not demanded or desired better. I hate to listen to people assert facts when it is just their perspective. I hate to listen to people who are capable, talk about what others are or aren't doing, but you can't find them physically nowhere making any change. I can't stand people talking about that there's a need for investment, but we can't come together to raise enough resources to create a co-op grocery store in a food desert. We're talking about the National Guard because the truth of the matter is we fail because it takes a village not to get to this point. But now we're here. And if it takes saving one life for a National Guardsman to be here, because I want to be clear here, I've talked to many of them now, and yes, they are combat trained. Absolutely. But they are also not incompetent or stupid not to know the difference between an enemy combatant and a citizen of the country that they've sworn to protect and serve. And as a matter of fact, what more fear do I need to have? Because the people who are on the front lines of my constitutional protection violated every single day. And that's why people call me an advocate. Because when I show up, I ain't standing against the National Guard. I'm standing against a person in a domestic uniform who don't even think that I'm viable as a taxpayer to explain to me what they ought and ought not be doing by the level and by the litness of the values of our constitutional values. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me because our literal politicians have come together to call out one. When in this region, I say it again, that press conference was the most powerful press conference I've ever seen in my life. And you mean to tell me that after they got done talking about Trump, They didn't follow that up with where we were going to organize and come together and be resourced and how that was going to help us to have what we need. They just told us to stand up. In my mind, they just told us to be sheep before the slaughter so that they could prove their goddamn point. Because I wish that I would have said something. I wish that I would have spoke up and ran out in the middle of that press conference just to show you what they would do when somebody stands up. I'd be locked up with federal charges or felony charges, and I have my community talking about how much I needed or wanted attention, resources, needed a project, or was a fool. At the end of the day, it just wasn't working. And I'm sitting on this live stream with over 200 people, and this ain't even a fourth of what's necessary to make a difference on a larger scale, but it is more than enough to get the ball rolling. But if I said anything about let's do something, you quickly see the numbers drop, and you quickly see every excuse of why we can't, why we shouldn't, and why we ain't. The problem for me today is not that the National Guard should or shouldn't come, if they are or aren't coming, but the problem is that they're coming and we're not prepared for when they get here. And you know why? Because I heard this last election. We just got to pick between the lesser of two evils. It's too late. We don't have enough resources. We're not unified, and it ain't nothing we can do about it. The Democrats are a failure, and they have not done the basic thing to help us secure a home, have viable transportation, have a livable wage, cut down inflation, and create sustainable jobs. And because they have failed us, they know that we are not responding to them. Therefore, as I've said time and time again, I'll say it again. Now they want to act like they're the savior of the undocumented. And I just heard a woman who was a United States citizen say, and I witnessed them have better health care than me. How the hell can we be? And then this is what they do because they know we don't pay attention and they know that they're taking civic education out of our institutions and they know that we don't have the means to literally build the type of community that we dream of because they know this. They just get us those same old heartstrings, pulling our heartstrings to say women and children being separated. Well, I got a message for them. And I got it as insensitive as it may sound. If they would have done it the right way, just like I've watched black fathers be ripped from almost every black home I've ever walked in the doors of. Where was the cry out for us? Because you literally could be an illegal and undocumented citizen, commit a crime against a United States citizen, be detained and deported, and then swim right back across the border. If we do something against them, going to go to jail and have to speak before a jury of our peers. There's so many ramifications. Then we watch them have better opportunities for school, better opportunities for transportation, better opportunities for housing, better opportunities for health care. And because we don't want a child to be ripped from their fathers, which is literally a play on us because we know what it feels like and we don't want that. When the truth of the matter is that literally what is stopping them from sitting down and creating a comprehensive plan to make sure the whole family can stay together, be it here or somewhere else? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just like there's nothing stopping the United States president from sitting down with Congress and asking for their proof or their approval to do exactly what he's doing. Just like the Democrats can sit down together and they can literally stop playing talking points and get some fucking work done for a change. The only work the Democrats do is create bills that they feel will get our attention, wait till election season, make them big, talk about, show up at every fucking community event, and then tell us who to vote for. And that's why, and I'm sorry I got on soapbox. No, I'm not sorry. Because I listen to this, it feels impossible at times. But you can kiss my ass when I'm watching all pastors and so-called advocates of the upper echelon who are receiving anti-violence funds. Look out the side of their eye, hoping that me and Tyrone, who are also advocates, won't interrupt their nice, pretty little press conference. When they really should have been happy to see us and we should have been happy to hear them. I wonder why we weren't. It's real interesting to watch a so-called fighter when they got their anti-violence money. Because the hug I used to get from Father Flagler was drastically different from the handshake I got from him at the press conference. And although he does great work, when you got millions of dollars, you can do great work. But don't lose your soul because you already know what I'm on. We forgave you for Chirac when you ignored us saying we didn't want the damn movie that Spike Lee was doing. We gave you a pass. Y'all don't want to talk about it. Y'all don't want that kind of conversation. And what happened with the movie? I'll wait. Made us feel dumb and like a joke. But ain't nobody ever gonna talk about that because you don't come against our pastors. We're not gonna let me not go line by line because that's how I get myself in trouble, which I don't have no trouble. When I got a whole lot of things to deal with, I don't need to be doing all of that. This is what I'm gonna say. The Democrats are the ones that are controlling Illinois, and they are failing, and they're not delivering anything. The Republicans are failing because you're not hearing and you're not approaching this in a way that is palatable because you are the unknown factor, and your self-righteous evangelical Christian views shrouded in hypocrisy, authoritarianism, and literal ignorance to plights that you may not understand or have never experienced. It's pitting Americans against each other. And that's the ultimate failure. Somebody said these are not the United States of America. Our goal is to come to a more perfect union. And when people have made their decision, who they wanted to elect them, they voted for Brandon, they voted for Pritzker, they voted for Trump, and all the rest of them. They had one responsibility, and that's to be the parties that work together across the aisle to create a more perfect union. There's not one person with any good sense who don't recognize that all of this is political spin for power. So what is my point? Trump said that the National Guard is coming. I expect him to make good on that position. And I'm going to discourage my family in Chicago from listening to the mayor or the governor. Don't rise up against anything unless we're going to rise up against everything, including their effect as well. Let's take this temporary moment with all of this presence to see if we can create some sense of community. Let's create some kind of events, lawful gatherings. Let's keep our young people off of the streets collectively. Let's literally work to figure out what we want to build. Let's pool our resources and let's start the process of building it. Let's demand meetings with our elected officials and tell them to give us their plans and not their talking points and tell them to get Trump out their mouth and get their jobs in it so we can learn where the hell we're going from here under their control. That message might seem like it's a big message, and it might seem like it's confusing. This is what I'm going to tell you. You take your ass out there to fight the National Guard, don't call me or expect me in jail support to stand by you doing it, to participate in any shape, form, or fashion, because I'm no longer interested in the lesser of two evils. We got an election coming up, an election season coming up. And while they all point about this National Guard, Illinois will never see this political moment again when almost every seat is up. That's our conversation. And I ain't got time to be fighting about who or who shouldn't be here. If you got your papers, if you got your citizenship, if you got your passport, then we got work to do. And if you don't, then this is my comment to you. They have a program in our United States government where they say you can voluntarily deport. You do not have to be snatched up from nowhere. You don't have to be separated from nobody. You can literally take those resources that y'all getting and send them back to your country anyway, and you can get you a one-way ticket back from where you came from, and you can fill out the paperwork and go through the process so that you can come back and take that oath and struggle with the crumbs with the rest of us. That is my official message. And for the people of the brown community, you and the blacks who are illegal and those that are white, if you want me to believe that you are going to be a viable citizen and neighbor, then I need you to do me a little favor and talk about us a little bit too in your voicing about your concerns about what you're going through. I ain't rising up nowhere. The only rising up I'm doing is to lift up my head and thank the Lord for another day as I work to be all He called me to be in trying to make this country better and be prepared to get more people come in. As a matter of fact, get y'all black asses over there and fill out those job applications because it's a lot of jobs that opened up because a lot of people scared. Go get them jobs and start talking about what the fuck we ain't got. As a matter of fact, when you all get that palm card about who to vote for, you know what? Let me just pause. Let me stop. Let me stop. Because I don't think nobody want to hear these truths. I just don't. I don't think nobody care about what I'm saying. But you make it make sense. You make it make sense. I'll tell you one thing I know for a fact. They ain't gonna take no vote on if Chicago want to maintain the sanctuary city status. Y'all want to solve this problem? As a matter of fact, let me do y'all another solid so y'all they got to end up just hearing me talk.
You gotta talk about affinity and domestic violence. Hey,
how you doing? I just had a question, and you, a lot more people can hear you, so just be mindful of that. What, if anything, you could tell me is the police is you all telling us to do in this notion of rising up if the National Guard come to the city? What does that mean?
All right. First of all, we have not told anybody to rise up.
The mayor did.
Okay. Second of all, we will support people's constitutional right to peacefully demonstrate. All right. Period. We are strongly encouraging people not to interfere, not to assault, not to get into a conflict with any law enforcement entity, and especially federal. They can record, they can document, they can witness, they can voice their opinions, but not to assault, not to physically interfere with any federal operation or any law enforcement agency. Period.
Okay. So the mayor of the city did say rise up, and I heard you. And I guess my question would be if the is the Chicago police going to be helping them or no? I'm confused by that.
Helping who?
The National Guard or the federal agencies that will be
Okay.
deployed.
We are not participating in any immigration action, any civil immigration action.
Okay.
We are also going to maintain the peace. That is our job. We are peacekeepers. We are not going to, we don't do immigration. We haven't. We're also not going to let anybody assault anybody else.
Okay.
Right. So, people aren't going to be able to jump on any law enforcement entity just because they disagree with them. That's not going to happen either.
So what about
We'll
if the citizens feel that the National Guard is violating their rights, like asking for ID or detaining them? Will the Chicago police intervene?
They are operating under their rules of engagement and their authority that they have, and they are a recognized entity. We understand they have limited law enforcement um, authority, and it varies under circumstances. What we encourage people to do is document it, and this is a rule of thumb that I always want to say: you don't litigate on the street, especially when somebody has some authority and is you don't litigate in the street. You're not going to win that battle.
Right. I thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
So I thought I'd call someone in Chicago police leadership, and that would be their recommendation. Now I'm gonna say this to y'all one last time, because if you ain't just catch that, you don't. They will not assist in any immigration issues, but they will not let anybody essentially commit a crime. There go your ass. There go your ass. All you niggas is a pawn in the front of the chess piece. Wait, y'all are an expendable resource. This ain't got nothing to do with no safety. All this shit is about immigration. And they gonna have y'all out there fighting because they don't want people to be deported that's here illegal. Now they're gonna turn around and ask the illegals to fight. Got to deal with the war on drugs, the stuff that goes against the black community specifically, that creates criminality, disinvestment. Man, get the, you know what? We sit up there debating the National Guard like this is really about us. No, we either gonna go to jail. Or oh Jesus! Somebody called it, and I don't know who it was. They said all they know about black people is you just got to make. You don't want people to be snatched from their kids. They ain't coming to get our kids. Ain't nobody coming for our kids. Stay in the house, mind your business. So with that being said, and if I'm not mistaken, Chicago is the number one immigration city for illegal or undocumented, the undocumented number one sanctuary city in America, I believe, is Chicago. So let me be clear here so that you all will get this because this ain't backtrack. I'm for all people having justice. And if y'all want to know the truth, I'm helping some families that are undocumented. But if the National Guard called me and asked me anything, I'm gonna say they over there. They at Hassan's place. I'm helping them. Is there a crime? Because if it's crime, I'll stop. but I'm helping people. But they over there, Hassan, and it's about 50. These are their addresses. You want pictures? Um, I'm not, and I'm telling you the truth. While they're here, I will do everything that I can to make sure that they're treated right, that they can eat, that they're safe. But when Uncle Sam called, they gotta go. I need all y'all to come on, get on this bus. Come on, get everybody. Do you understand me? And I think that that is a righteous position. If it's illegal, it's illegal, and ain't nobody gonna stand up for your black ass doing something illegal. So stop being a fool. Now, Trump, get this over with, because we don't have enough resources here. Because our party been playing with us in the first damn place. There go your long term solution. I ain't never in my life seen a debate that should be so clear and easy, be so complicated. We thinking I'm sitting there listening to black folks talking about what we going through, like this got anything to do with us. We got, ain't no big homies on the block. We need to have, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no. We ain't got enough ketchup package in our cafeteria. We ain't eating the kind of stuff that we need to be eating. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? The grocery store, the meat is outdated and we losing our house. The rent too high. Ain't got no air conditioner in the summertime and no heat in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no gas to put in the car. We debating all this about if they should be here or not. And this ain't got nothing to do with us. This is not a fight about the plight of us. But we the ones and then the craziest part about it is we the loudest about it, and they hadn't in the back of the house. The number one fighter gonna be white liberals and black people. Now tell me that I just lied. Stay your black. Now I might now I might film if I see somebody being mishandled or snatched up. But I ain't finna. I'm sorry. I'm a film it. Where you going? Oh, you going to Mexico? Hell, I'm trying to save up money. I want to go there on vacation. Get your ass in the car. I'm trying to go on vacation to Mexico. What am I missing? Oh, ain't no jobs? We ain't got none either. They lied. Housing issues? Hell, tell me about it. Because it costs as much to live in LA in Beverly Hills, not in Inglewood, like it did out there. See when you get back. I know you coming back. But I'm not gonna be fighting you when you open. You can't even tell them to stop because you don't even know how to say it. That's ignorant as hell, but it's the truth. Yes, I'm running for United States Congress, Illinois 2nd Congressional District. Somebody needs to tell the truth. And if that means I lose, then damn it, I'll still show up to work as the commander of for the cultures investigate and advocate. True, Jay, black folks just don't let use you for justification. And there are black people being deported. I saw a black man being deported and I was so confused. And I was like, wait a minute, he not a citizen? And then he started talking, and I think he was speaking for two. I said, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm sorry. Talk to me. So you ain't been here, you gotta go. And so it ain't just brown people. You gotta go. Did you hear me? I ain't lying. I was even now I didn't film it. Now that I think about it, I was about to. I was like, that's a brother. And he starts talking. I was like, see you when you get back. Cause y'all don't even understand what I done been through. Yeah, I done bet. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. See, my Jedediah, just don't let me get no free airtime. I enjoyed the conversation today. I hope that you all did. I hope that even in the midst of all of this 2 hour conversation, that you learned something and that you gleaned something that will give you better perspective. But I just want to tell you, as one of the many prominent activists in the city of Chicago, advocates in the city of Chicago, you all ain't got to worry about my black ass out there rising up. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to probably take this time to maybe learn how to bake. I'm going to give me some of those Pillsbury Dope Boy cinnamon buns that I have always wanted to try to bake. Get that ice and put it to the side. I'm going to put them in the pan. I'm going to take some time to give me a pan. I'm going to put that dough inside of that pan. I do believe I'm going to surround it with butter. I'm going to set the timer to whatever the box tells me to set it to. I'm going to sit down in front of the oven and I'm going to watch my cinnamon bun rise up. If I've if I've had your attention for these 2 hours and 21 minutes, I want to thank you. I hope that something was said that added value to your life during this broadcast. And those of you all who are watching and paying attention to the issue that's going on in Harvey, I'm not I'm not there, but as I said, there are some people that are going to address this situation for me today. I'm not there, but I will be there. And I thank God for anybody, which let me check, because y'all always know I got to tell y'all because that's transparency. Today, for the culture, INA received a total of $0 as it relates to support. So we want to thank you for that. We're going to utilize those resources to continue to make a difference in the community. And I want y'all to know I love you. Facebook has been real. Goodbye. Let me see how to do this, how to end this live stream over here. There's literally no button to end the live stream on Facebook. That's crazy. Do I do that? Oh, no, I gotta go here. Oh, there it is. Peace. Okay. And over here on YouTube, it's a little cooler. Peace.
Yo, can I get in on this? I want another one, two. 1, 2. Oh, you thought it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style.
Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya. This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, you know they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gon' investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, you know they showing out. You smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, you know she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his face.
favor, His mercy, His power. So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man, ain't no S on your chest. You know where help comes from when you're up or you're down. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
Yeah.